Welcome to the Produce Moms Podcast, where we believe there is a produce mom in all of us. I'm Lori Taylor, founder and CEO of the Produce Moms. For 10 years, I sold fresh produce to over 300 grocery stores in the U.S. And today, my team and I are fully focused on inspiring people to eat more fruits and vegetables. This show is just one of the ways that we hope to inspire you and your family to eat more produce and live a better life. If you like what you're hearing on the podcast, join our community of almost 40,000 in all 50 states and over 30 countries by visiting theproducemoms.com/subscribe. And be sure to subscribe and leave us a review on iTunes. Thanks for being here. Enjoy today's show. Welcome back, everyone. This is the Produce Moms Podcast. My name is Lori Taylor, and I love this show. I love this show because of our guest, and today is no exception. We have an amazing woman, a true just visionary, a woman full of grit and passion, and she is the founder and CEO of Perfectly Imperfect Produce. She's approaching her 5th year of business ownership at this amazing woman-owned and led company. I am so excited to welcome Ashley Weingart to our show today. Ashley, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here, and congrats on all you have done with Perfectly Imperfect Produce.
Hi, Lori. It's so exciting to be here with you and join this amazing community that you've created, and to share about what we've been up to for the past 5 years.
Yeah, I really believe in what you're doing. And thank you again for your hard work and being part of our show. We're thrilled that you're here. Please introduce yourself and tell folks a little bit more about Perfectly Imperfect Produce.
Sure. So I'm Ashley Weingart, founder and CEO of Perfectly Imperfect Produce, which is sort of a mouthful. I created this back in 2016. And really didn't know that I was creating what would become a business that I would be running 5 years later. It started out as just a program of our family's wholesale produce business. My husband's family ran a wholesale produce distributor here in Cleveland for over 117 years. And I joined in to really help them out with marketing and communications, which is my background. And as a part of that, learned about how much food waste exists in our country. And if you're not familiar with that, there's a lot of statistics out there that show that more than half of the food that's produced in our nation goes to waste. And we can delve into that in a little more detail later. But what we're all about is really rescuing produce that is at risk of going to waste because of imperfections. And that can mean a number of different things. But we purchased that up from local farms and other local wholesalers, and we box that up into mixed boxes that our customers order online through our website, and we deliver it right back to their doorstep. And as a part of that, we also make donations every single week to food pantries right here in Ohio. And we also provide our customers with recipes so that they understand how to utilize some of the items that are in their box every week. And our mission is about reducing food waste, but it has so much to do also with improving healthy food access. And that's why, truly every day we wake up with the goal of, rescuing more of this food, not only for our customers, but also to get it into the hands of our neighbors in need. And so it's really been an honor to do this work. Over the past 5 years, we estimate that we have brought in over 2 million pounds of produce that were at risk of going to waste and would otherwise have ended up in the landfill. And we have donated more than 200,000 pounds of produce. So we've come a long way, and we are excited about so many things we have on the horizon in the coming months.
That's so good. And as you're talking, I just can't help but get more curious about your founder journey. Help us know. I mean, obviously, I'm very familiar with your family business and the heritage that your husband's family has and the wholesale distribution stage of the supply chain. Because, as you know, Ashley, that's where I got my start in this wonderful industry, was in sales at wholesale distribution right here in the Midwest as well. But please tell us a little bit more about how you you discovered this opportunity, and a little bit more, lean into your founder journey a little, please.
Yeah. So, right. So I studied journalism in college. I definitely was not, didn't know I would end up in a food business or creating a food business. I moved to Chicago after college, and I worked for a large advertising firm there, and then ended up back here in Cleveland when I moved here with my then boyfriend, now husband, and worked for some advertising firms here. And then I left to have my children, who are now 13, 11, and 8. And, just found the urge to, utilize more of my creative mind, and began doing more writing again. I started a blog and really learned how to build a website. And then I went in to help my family's business, which was called Forest City Weingart Produce at the Cleveland Produce Terminal. And built a website for them. And so then as a result, we would do a lot of visits to farms, especially out in like the Salinas Valley in California, where much of the produce is grown in our country, and just witnessed firsthand, how much produce, even after a field was harvested, was left there in the field. And, just really surprised by why that was. In some cases, it would be, maybe a field of romaine hearts where, we are all familiar with romaine hearts that are all packed into a 3-pack of in a bag. And if the romaine hearts, we know that they don't all necessarily grow exactly that size, but only the ones that are harvested make it into those bags, or only the ones that fit perfectly into the bag, rather, are harvested. And everything else sort of just gets left in the field, and they don't return to pick that later. It just is left there. It gets plowed under. Or another example might be fields of cauliflower that just go unharvested because they're a touch too yellow because they, got too much sunlight. And, so that just gets left there as well. And so just many examples of things like that I witnessed. And then overhearing conversations with, from the buyers and sales folks at our family's business, amongst, their grocery partners who, would reject loads of produce because of blemishes, because things were off size or off color. And now we know that a lot of that happens because of just oversupply from local farms as well. But that just didn't sit right with me to know all this produce was perfectly edible, but not being eaten. Mm-hmm. And then returning home to see, our neighbors in need right in the backyard of this enormous produce facility, and watching folks who don't have access to fruits and vegetables and really have a corner shop who, where they can only purchase, soda and candy and chips. And so just had asked a lot of questions about, what happens to this produce that's rejected? Can you sell that to another customer? And sadly, this, in most cases, what ends up happening is it sits, waiting to be sold to somebody else, and then it's too late. And so, like I said, I wasn't setting out to create a business. I really was just working on creating a program to find a home for more of this produce, and then to find a mechanism to get more of it into the hands of, people who don't have enough of it. And in the beginning, I think I thought that our customer was actually that person who might live in the food desert, who doesn't have the access, and that we would be able to deliver to those doorsteps. But what we learned was that, so many people in our community, when they heard about what we were doing, wanted to be part of it. And so
they're passionate about the sustainability story.
Exactly. And so what we ended up learning was that we were instead using the buying power of the average customer who can go to the grocery store and purchase whatever fruits and vegetables they wanted. They instead were choosing to purchase from us. And so that then they were making, the decision with their dollars to help, create a new food system and evolve our food system so that nothing goes to waste, and that, more of the folks in our community who need fresh food are given access to that. And
right.
So
that market access is just so important.
Absolutely. So it sort of took on a life of its own. And sadly, at the end of 2017, our family's wholesale business closed. And then I was forced to figure out what was next, sort of had to decide if I was chalking this up as a neat experience or, really starting it up as its own entity. And so that's what I did, with a lot of encouragement from folks in our community who saw the impact that we were already making only 1 year in. And so I created From Seed to Spoon LLC, which Perfectly Imperfect Produce is below. And then we partnered up with the folks at Produce Packaging, where we work out of now. And not only do we utilize their folks here to help us pack up our boxes, it also is great because we can purchase the items from them that may come in that is too large or too small, or
right, that don't meet those retailer specs.
Exactly.
I mean, because at the end of the day, we all eat with our eyes. And when you walk into a grocery store, you expect to see fruits and vegetables that meet a certain standard. There's been an abundant amount of studies out there that even within the brick and mortar retail setting, if you put some of this, the style of produce that you are sourcing at Perfectly Imperfect Produce, fruits and veggies that are misshapen or off color or have minor, damages to the skin, those are oftentimes it's just adding a larger carbon footprint to the waste, because They're not necessarily selling at the point at retail, grocery retail. So it's critical that niche offerings and hyper-focused direct-to-consumer models like yours exist.
Well, thank you. We can see the impact that we've made so far. I mean, we're barely scratching the surface.
Right.
One of the people I'll often ask is, well, is there enough produce, to go around? And the answer is like, well,
yes.
There's so much of this produce out there that we're barely even scratching the surface, and right. So we know that
our industry can support an increased consumption. The CDC data indicates that I think it's unfortunately not even 10% of Americans are eating the recommended amounts of fruits and vegetables on a daily basis. And we also have an abundant supply where within the supply chain, there is this unfortunate waste, like what Ashley said at the top of the show. So we want to drive consumption for all households. And we also want to mitigate the waste that's occurring within the supply chain. A ton of the waste happens in our own home kitchens. So I definitely want to dive in a little bit more about the one thing that makes your business model a little unique, in my opinion, is the education that you do. But before we go there, Ashley, I'd love for you to just kind of tell folks end to end what the experience is like. So what's the process of how you get the produce into the hands of your subscribers or customers?
Sure. So, our customers' first interaction with us would be, through our website, where you can, which is perfectlyimperfectproduce.com. And I would say we have, more options available than many other produce home delivery companies.
For sure.
In that you can go in and select if you want an all vegetable box or an all fruit box or a mixed fruit and vegetable box. You can choose if you want a small, a large, or a mini box, which serves different, sizes of families. And then you can choose how often you'd like to get it, whether it be, weekly, every other week, once a month. We offer conventional boxes. We offer organic boxes. And then we've even delved into some specialized options, which are, for example, our smoothie box, which is an organic box we offer with all the items that you might use to make a smoothie, and it differs every week. We just launched what we're calling our salad bar box, where you get lots of local greens and sort of salad staples like cucumbers and peppers and tomatoes, plus some extra surprises to get creative with. So you pick that box, you pick how often you want to get it, and then the rest is really up to us. We're spending pretty much, every day of the week, we have our feelers out to all of our local farm partners that are here in Ohio. Right now, we're based in Cleveland and we're serving all of Ohio. But we also work with local wholesalers. So we are, making our way out to local farms to pick up items that they have, either are just overstock supply of items that, they grew potentially for a restaurant that now, isn't in business anymore, or sadly, that's widely the case these days, is that they're just serving fewer customers. So, or many times it has to do with, purchasing up those items that are too small, too large, blemished, scraped, scarred, and bringing that all in here. We have a workforce here in this building of a few hundred people, and we utilize those folks to help us pack up the boxes. And then we actually subcontract our deliveries with a partner here who does all of our door-to-door service. And we pack all those up Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Boxes go out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to all of Northeast Ohio, which includes Cleveland, Akron, Canton, Youngstown. And then we launched a couple years ago down to Columbus. And then this past year during COVID, we expanded to Cincinnati and Dayton and Toledo as well. So it's definitely, there's never a dull moment. We're always busy either buying or packing or delivering product. And it's a lot of work, but we have a lot of fun, and we've got a really, hardworking team of women who are leading our company and are passionate and are totally up for the challenge.
Yeah, indeed. And what a great adage and sentiment that is really for the entire produce industry. It is an industry where we are, no 2 days are ever the same, and it's a constant grind, and there's a lot of excitement, daily challenges. And one of the adages I always loved when I was at the sales desk was we either sell it or we smell it, so it's a really fast-paced industry. And I imagine, everything you just said kind of reminded me of some of those sentiments. And I imagine anyone who's listening with us today that's part of the produce industry can relate. So you mentioned these unique bundles that you do, and that's one thing that I think is just absolutely brilliant about your model. Things like, it's not that consumers don't want more fruits and vegetables. I mean, I think that the produce moms and the success of your business and so many other businesses that have education at the core of what we do can attest to this. Folks need more inspiration and direction on how to use the incredible bounty that greets them in the produce department, or when they, think about fruits and veggies as a whole. And that is, I think that your business, Perfectly Imperfect Produce, has done a phenomenal job of helping people understand, okay, we're going to bundle up some fruits and veggies that are ideal for, the home salad bar, or, hey, if you like smoothies, we're going to bundle that up, or here's one for soups, and, so on and so forth, and seasonality and everything else. So I think that's just the tip of the iceberg, though, for how you all have differentiated and brought education and inspiration into, the core of what your brand is about. So elaborate a little bit more on that. Like, what do you do beyond just packaging the box and sending it to folks? How do you make sure people know how to actually use the produce? Because that's your whole mission. You want less food waste. So explain to everyone how you do that.
Absolutely. So, right. Our boxes are truly sort of a grab bag of all the items we rescue. So in the very beginning, it was just, a mixed box of all the different items. We didn't offer these customized approaches, but we know that, that is not comfortable for most consumers. They like their apples, their oranges, their bananas. They have certain things they're familiar with that they buy all the time. What we've learned is that there are just as many folks out there who love the surprise factor of what we offer. And so they enjoy getting a box and opening it up and finding something that they have never tried before in there that's ending up on their counter. And then it's sort of a challenge for them, almost like the Food Network Chopped show. So they have to figure out what to do with it then. And we know that encouraging, changing people's eating habits to consume more fruits and vegetables has a lot to do with access, with regard to reducing obesity in our nation and things like that. But it has just as much to do with education. And so from the very beginning, the very first week that we offered these boxes, when we made like 10, that was a key part of it, was providing that educational piece. So that originally came to our customers in the form of a actual recipe that was on a card in the box. Nowadays, to save on paper, we actually have all of those recipes that live on our blog, which we call Ugly Food Makeover. That's on our website.
Yeah, it's great. Yes.
We pull out a few of the items from the box. We try to feature the ones that are least familiar to customers, and not only show you something delicious to make with it and how to do that and what ingredients you need. And they're all very simple and healthy recipes, but we also provide you with instruction on, how to store fruits and vegetables, how to, slice them. So this past year, we just launched a new video series that we're doing with a local chef that's well known here in the Ohio area named Douglas Katz. And he is helping us to sort of educate in a very simple way people on a specific item. So each video features one item. Right this month, we're actually focusing entirely on winter squash and explaining the difference between a butternut squash and a delicata squash and an acorn squash and a spaghetti squash. And then one video is specifically about how to peel them and how to slice them and how to dice them. And that's actually going to be going up live on our YouTube channel on Perfectly Imperfect Produce today. But we're really passionate about, just sort of demystifying fruits and vegetables, making them more approachable for the average home chef who, wants to eat healthier, wants to get their kids and their family excited about eating more fruits and vegetables, but just needs a little help understanding what to do with those items. And we love hearing from our customers who tell us, like, I was really weary of like eggplant, for example. I thought I hated it, but once I actually had it in my kitchen and I was sort of forced to figure out something to do with it, I discovered that I actually loved it.
Yeah.
So did my kids. And so it's sort of opening up new doors for folks with their families and giving them a reason to be excited about new fruits and vegetables.
Yes, I love it. And you are so spot on with that. Sometimes we just have to try them. That discovery journey it like opens up a whole new world when you find a new favorite, right? Well, this is super exciting, Ashley. I am always impressed when you and I have the opportunity to connect, and listening to your story has just been heartwarming for me. You and I have a similar timeline for our entrepreneurial and founder journeys. We started around the same time. Our businesses are almost the exact same age, and I am so incredibly proud of what you have done. And I'm grateful that we know each other and, can cheer one another on. And with that, I mean, I need to know what's ahead. I know that, all that I know for sure, there's innovation ahead, but I would love for you to share whatever you can with our folks today.
Yeah. So we have had a very busy last several months and year. COVID transformed for us what our business looked like. We multiplied by 5 in sales from last April through May. And so it was a year of enormous growth for us. And it was also a large, we learned so much about our consumers' needs as well. And we are in the process of preparing to launch after several months of doing our homework and really, preparing what we feel are the proper products and solutions. to launch a new sub-brand or a new product line, if you will, this coming April in just a few weeks, called Diced and Easy, and is our meal kit, if you will. And so essentially, if you're familiar with, some of the meal kits where you receive everything you need to make a recipe, we're offering our version of that, which includes our rescued produce that we're bringing in from local farms and wholesalers. But what's unique about it is that we are already doing all the work for you, in that we're chopping up, slicing and dicing all the fruits and vegetables that you need to make that recipe. What we've really learned is that for every one of our customers who is interested in that surprise factor of opening their box and getting creative and, doing all that fun work in their kitchen, there are just as many people who are super busy, just like you and I, who just want to feed their family a really healthy dinner, but don't have more than maybe 20 to 30 minutes to do that. And so this new Diced and Easy brand will offer busy families and busy young professionals that opportunity to, select from us a recipe that they want to make. We'll provide you with everything that you need to make it. And then we also have some pre-packaged, pre-made salads and grain bowls, as well as snack cups of fruits and vegetables that are already sliced and diced for you that you can just take on the go, as well as fruit-infused waters. And we're packaging all of this in the most earth-friendly packaging we can find, and delivering it right to your door. So that launches in April, and I am just chomping at the bit. I can't wait to share more about all of it, and just give birth essentially to this baby, this new baby that we've been working on. I'm so proud of.
I know you've been working hard on it. Yes. It's amazing, Ashley. Congratulations. I can't wait to help celebrate the launch. Diced and Easy. What a great name too.
Thank you. We're excited about it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Ashley, with that, I have to say thank you again for being part of the show. Thank you for the hard work that you do. And, we've got a tradition. All of our guests get the final word, the closing goodbye. For those of you that haven't already visited the Perfectly Imperfect Produce website, it is simply perfectlyimperfectproduce.com. So make sure that you go check it out. And oh my gosh, if you live in Ohio, you must treat yourself to a subscription or a box, or gift someone a box that lives in the area if you're not there yourself. And keep an eye out. This company is moving and grooving. So Ashley, with that, you get the final words and the last goodbye to our listeners today.
Oh gosh. Well, thank you, Lori, so much for inviting me to chat with you today and to tell you more about what we're up to. I guess just to everyone out there, all you produce moms and dads, I guess I would just encourage you to always ask a lot of questions about what you observe in the world. I created this program simply because of something that I witnessed in my life and in my experiences that didn't sit well with me, and didn't know that it would create such a movement and to create so much positive change in the world, both for the environment and helping families eat healthier, and then also, helping to reduce hunger in our own community. So I just would say, final words, keep your eyes and your ears open to the world around you, and, never be afraid to just go after that big idea that seems really scary. And, you might not know quite how you're going to make it happen. But just one step at a time, just keep at it. When you find something that you're passionate about, there's many other people in the world who are passionate about it too, and will get behind it and help you make that dream a reality. So thanks so much.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Produce Moms Podcast. If you or someone you know would like to be a featured guest, just send an email to Lori@theproducemoms.com. We know there is a produce mom in you because there's a produce mom in all of us. Join our community on Facebook and all social platforms. Help us change the way America eats. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.